Hey friends, how's it going? My name is Gabby. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to the first video of 2025. And this is going to be my TBR for the month of January and for the month of February. And it's also going to include my Winterween TBR. Winterween is a readathon that's going to be happening very soon. We're kicking things off on January 10th. And then I also have some announcements about the book troop for the next 3 months. So there's a lot to get through in this video, so let's just jump right into it. So for the book troop, I am very excited to announce the first 3 picks of the year. And the book troop, if you didn't know, the book troop is a book club that I run here on YouTube, and it's a horror/thriller book club where we read a book together once a month, and I host a live show on this channel. And for the month of January, I'm so excited that we're going to be reading Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. This is from the same author as Gone Girl and Sharp Objects, and it's the only book from this author that I still have not yet read. This one is actually a backlist pick though, because this first published in the year 2009, so it's been released for a long time. I still haven't read it, so I'm very excited to finally get around to reading this one this month. This one does seem like it's going to be on the dark side, by the way, because there's a family that gets massacred, I think, and there's true crime kind of vibes in this. I don't really know what to expect as far as the content in this goes, but I have heard that it's pretty dark, so just keep that in mind. But I'm really excited to read this month, and I'm also excited to be joined in the live show by my friend Heather from Bookables. Heather is somebody I've been friends with on BookTube for a really long time, but I haven't yet had her on the book troop, so I'm so excited to finally make this happen in January. It feels like a long time coming, and Heather's channel is amazing. I will have her linked down below if you haven't checked her out. I highly recommend. And then in the month of February, I had my Patreon vote on these 3 new releases that I'm very excited about, and I'm so pumped that Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney ended up winning that poll. This will be the 3rd time that Alice Feeney is going to be a book troop pick, which makes me so genuinely happy because I do consider her to be one of my favorite thriller authors. This book actually does publish in the month of January, and you can get a copy early from Book of the Month because they just had it as a selection in the month of December. This is one that I am genuinely so excited to read. I have such good feelings about this. How am I supposed to wait until the month of February to read this? I don't know. This one, it says we're following this author named Grady Green who is having the worst day of his life. I think the gist of the story is that his wife ends up going missing, and then the story takes place a year later when he travels to this tiny Scottish island and he sees the impossible, a woman who looks exactly like his missing wife. I'm sorry, what? That sounds creepy. It sounds weird. I can't wait. I'm also so excited that for this live show, I'm going to be joined by 2 BookTube friends. I'll be joined by both Erin Megan as well as Ty from Ty's Book Corner, and I'm so excited to have both of them on. I've had Erin on the book troop at least once before, and then I've never had Ty on the book troop before, but I'm so excited to have her on. We've all read some of Alice Feeney in the past, and we are all highly anticipating this book, so I hope that it's a win for all of us. I will have both of their channels linked down below if you're unfamiliar. And then I'm also very excited to let you know that for the month of March, we're going to be reading Listen to Your Sister by Nina Vale, and this book is coming out on February 4th. This book caught my attention right away because it said that this is recommended for fans of Jordan Peele's films, Stranger Things, and The Other Black Girl, which are all things that I really enjoyed. It says Listen to Your Sister is a laugh-out-loud, deeply terrifying, and big-hearted speculative horror novel. And it's a debut novel as well, which is also very exciting. It says we're following this 25-year-old woman named Calla Williams who's struggling since becoming guardian to her brother Jamie. It says through it all, the nightmare never stops haunting Calla, reoccurring images of her brothers dying that she is powerless to stop. When Jamie's actions at a protest spiral out of control, the siblings must go on the run. Their sister always warned them about her nightmares, and they really should have listened. Oh, does this not sound so creepy and so interesting? This book on Goodreads is listed under the horror genre first, and then it's listed under thriller, fiction, and Halloween. So I'm wondering if some of this will take place on Halloween. Either way, I am so excited to read this in the month of March. I think this book sounds incredible. And from time to time, I do love to feature debut authors for the book troop because then we're all going to be reading this author for the very first time. I think that's very fun. I'm also so excited that for the March book troop live show, I'm going to be joined by 2 of my BookTube friends. For this live show, I'll be joined by both Bree from Locked Booktician as well as Jan from Jan Agaton, and I'm so excited to have them both on. They've both been on the book troop before, and they're both some of my close friends here on BookTube. I will have both of their channels linked down below if you are unfamiliar, but I'm very excited for this live show. I think it's gonna be so great. Alright, so next up, I'm gonna be talking about my Winterween TBR. If you are unfamiliar with Winterween for whatever reason, I will have the announcement video linked down below, but Winterween is basically a week-long readathon that's gonna be happening from January 10th through the 16th, and it's basically just a readathon where we read a lot of thriller and horror books, and we kind of try to bring the Halloween spirit into a different season. We also do have merch for the readathon that my sister designed herself. Look at how freaking beautiful this is. So I will have that linked down below as well. But for this readathon, we do have 5 different reading prompts. I'm not entirely sure, my TBR for this readathon is not completely set in stone. I was actually thinking of maybe reading Dark Places by Gillian Flynn during this readathon, but some books that I think I could also read during this readathon is this one called We Came to Welcome You. This is a horror book that I've had on my TBR for a while, and I was just able to get this book checked out from my library, like perfect timing. So I do think that this is a possibility for something I might read during Winterween. I mean, this one is described as The Other Black Girl Meets Midsummer. It says a married couple moves into a gated community that slowly creeps into a pervasive dread. It also compares this to the social horror of Jordan Peele. So like you could say that I'm intrigued. I also think for the house on the cover, or like the house in the title prompt, I might be reading Come Out, Come Out. I feel like this is one that I could do for that because like there's a house featured on the cover here. And this one is a queer young adult horror novel that I've been pretty interested in. But there are a number of books I'm thinking about reading for the house on the cover. I mean, there's this book called The Doll's House by Lisa Unger, and this one is available as an ebook. It's a very short novella and it has a house on the cover. So there is one of the prompts that says to read either like a novella or a creepy manga or listen to a creepy audiobook. So this one could work for the novella prompt. There's also that book called Ling Hun, I think is how you say it. And that one also has a house on the cover. That one's a novella as well. I might try to see if my library has this one available. There's also the book A House with Good Bones. That's one that I'm thinking about reading that also has house in the title of the book, and it's also a novella. There's the book 12 Nights at Rotterhouse, which I still have not yet read, and that one also has house in the title, and that one was published 5 or more years ago, so that would also work for that prompt. There's a good chance that I might be reading the book Loot by Jennifer Thorne. I just put that one on hold at my library, and I should be getting it in time for the readathon. Then I also think that I might continue in the series for Mina and the Undead during Winterween. The author was so kind enough to reach out to me, and she sent me the next 2 books in the series, and these would be the next 2 books in the series for Mina and the Undead, which I just recently read at the end of last year, and I really ended up enjoying this one a lot, so maybe there's a chance that I'll try to continue in this series. I mean, these ones definitely both have like houses on the cover. This one looks more like a freaking mansion or something, but I think that would definitely count for that prompt. I don't know, you know, Winterween might be more of a mood reading week for me. I don't really have my TBR like fully set in stone for Winterween, so I could be reading any of those things. And if you were wondering, I am planning to do 3 vlogs for Winterween, and my sister and I are planning to film another music video for this readathon. I've already got the song recorded, ready to go. We're planning to film it in these next couple of days, so that should be a thing that's gonna be happening in the first Winterween vlog, which I am very excited about. It's a tradition now that I've been doing for these readathons, and it's so much fun. So you can look forward to that as well. I'm very excited for Winterween. And then also for Winterween, I thought I would let you know that I am going to be doing some reading sprints throughout the week. On the first day of Winterween, I'm going to be doing reading sprints only on my Patreon. And usually I like to do that on the first day so that I can premiere the music video early for my Patreon. So that's going to be happening on January 10th on my Patreon. And then on this Saturday, on January 11th, I'm going to be hosting public reading sprints here on YouTube with some of my booktube friends. I will be hosting Patreon reading sprints again later on in the week during Winterween. And then I also am going to be hosting a movie night on my Patreon on the Sunday during Winterween. So there's going to be a lot going on that week. So the first reading vlog that I'm going to be working on before Winterween even kicks off is going to be a reading vlog where I read popular books from 2024 according to Goodreads. So I'm going to be reading some of the biggest books of the year from Goodreads. So one of the books that I plan to read for this video is going to be Intermezzo by Sally Rooney, because this is a literary fiction book that I've had sitting on my shelves for a little while. I know me and Sally Rooney, we have kind of a complicated past, you know, because I haven't always loved her writing, but it's been so many years since I've even tried to read a Sally Rooney book, so I'm really looking forward to trying her out again. And this is a book that I'm going to be reading for that video because this one got 2nd place, I think, in the fiction category on Goodreads. Another book that I'll be reading for that video that won the sci-fi category is going to be The Ministry of Time. This is a book that I've been eyeballing for quite some time now because I really think that this could be something that I'd enjoy. It's a sci-fi book and I think it involves some kind of like time travel or something, like I'm not totally sure, but I'm going to be reading that one for this video. I'm also going to be reading The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden, which I know, is this a great idea? Like probably not, because I haven't really loved Frida McFadden in the past, but this book ended up getting into the top 3 of the thriller genre. So this is the one that I'm going to be going with, and I'm going to be reading this one because it's available on Kindle Unlimited, so I thought, why not just throw that one in there? And then I'm also going to be reading the book Welcome to Hyeonam-dong Bookshop, I think is how you say it. And this is one that I'm really looking forward to because this one also ranked pretty high in the fiction category. This is one that I've had my eye on for a while. I just think it looks and sounds really interesting. So those are some books that I'm going to be reading for that video in January. That should be the first reading vlog going up this year. I also think I would love to do a video at some point this month where I read some of my 2025 arcs. I mean, specifically some of my thriller arcs would be very fun, but some that I think I would want to include in a video like that include A Killing Cold, and this is by Kate Alice Marshall, who is the author of What Lies in the Woods, which was like one of my favorite thrillers when I read it last year. And this is a thriller arc that I have that this one's actually publishing in the month of February, February, so I think getting to this in January would be like perfect timing. I'm also thinking about reading The Last Session by Julia Bartz, which I just got this arc in the mail very recently, and I like screamed at the top of my lungs because I'm so excited for this book. This one actually goes on sale in April, and this is from the same author as The Writing Retreat, which is like one of my favorite thrillers ever. And so there's a high chance that I might be reading this one in a vlog like that. Some other thriller arcs that I have that I'm thinking about reading include Cross My Heart by Megan Collins, as well as Nowhere by Allison Gunn. Cross My Heart actually publishes on January 14th, so I should really get around to this. And then Nowhere, this one actually publishes March 25th. This one is described as True Detective meets The Outsider, and it's about a series of disappearances in a small town. It sounds like it could be a fun time. And then Cross My Heart is like about this woman who gets obsessed with the man who, like, I think his wife died and she got the heart of his wife, I think is what's happening in this. It sounds intriguing. And then I also do have a copy of The Favorites by Lane Fargo, so I think I would really love to read this one at some point in the month of January. Like, I can't wait. This is definitely one of my most anticipated books of the year because it's like an ice skating romance book from the same author as They Never Learn. Like, what the heck? It sounds amazing. I can't wait to read it. I also think, okay, if I can make this happen in the month of January, then it'll be happening in the month of January, but I really want to do this video where I read books that have the same title as Taylor Swift songs. I know it sounds silly, but I think this could be a really fun video concept, and there have been so many books coming out recently that have Taylor Swift songs as titles of the book. Like, for example, Mad Woman would be something that I would definitely think about reading for that reading vlog because the book is called Mad Woman. Taylor Swift has a song on Folklore called Mad Woman. There's also this book that I just got from my library called I Did Something Bad, which is, you know, another iconic Taylor Swift song off of Reputation. There's also this romance book called How You Get the Girl, and there's another romance book called 'Tis the Damn Season, and I think this one especially is like directly inspired by Taylor Swift. Like, it acknowledges it. I think in that video I would also try to read this one called Invisible Strings, which this one is actually 113 poets respond to the songs of Taylor Swift. So this one is like poetry that's about Taylor Swift songs. So I feel like that would be really cool to include something like that in that video. So that's an idea that I have that I'm working on. I'm hoping that I'll have enough time in January to do this reading vlog on top of everything else that I'm trying to do. But I can't wait. I think it'd be so much fun to do a video like that in my TBR. Like, there's an endless amount of opportunities. Anyways, then in the month of February, I'm not going to be doing a TBR for the month of February, so I thought I would just include it at the end of this video here because in February, I'm going to be having my 10-year booktube anniversary. I think the actual date of my anniversary is like February 26th, I want to say. And that day, it's going to be 10 years that I've been on booktube, which is like so crazy to even say. And so for almost the entire month of February, I think I am going to be working on like a huge video project for my 10-year anniversary. So I don't think I'm going to have a dedicated TBR video for the month of February because there's a good chance that that video project could take me the entire month to do. But then also in the month of February, I am going to be hosting a cute little readathon on my Patreon called Short and Sweet. You know, back in October, I hosted a readathon called Short and Spooky, and the main goal of that readathon was just to read books that were either short or spooky. So somebody on my Patreon had the genius idea to do another round called Short and Sweet in February and make it more like romance themed. So that's what I'm going to be doing in the month of February as well. It's probably going to be like the weekend of Valentine's Day. In February, I'm going to host a little readathon called Short and Sweet, and so we're going to be reading some romance books that weekend. And so I'm really looking forward to that in February because there are definitely a handful of romance books that I've been dying to get to, especially now that I have, you know, like my Kindle. There are so many romance books on Kindle Unlimited. Like, I am overwhelmed by the possibilities. And so I'm definitely going to be doing some romance reading in the month of February. I'm also going to be working on a huge video project for my 10-year anniversary. Like, let's go. I'm really looking forward to February. And I think if there's anything that you would like to see from me for my 10-year anniversary, then definitely let me know because I'm open to any of your ideas. I've been thinking about this for such a long time because I've known that this anniversary has been approaching for like an entire year now. And I just want to do something really cool, you know, because like 10 years is such a huge milestone. Like, it's such a big accomplishment to be on booktube for 10 years. And so I'm really looking forward to the booktube anniversary. I'm looking forward to Winterween. There are so many things coming up in 2025 that I am so excited about. And then the next video that you see from me is going to be my most anticipated books of 2025, which there are so many books on that list. It was actually really hard to like narrow it down because I am so excited for so many things. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. As always, if you are going to participate in Winterween, I would love to know, what are you planning to read? What's on your TBR? What do you think you're going to be reading in the month of January? Do let me know. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I will see you very soon with another video. Bye.